And this is from Jay in Florida. The Loop.
Okay, so this is the telling of an event that happened to me when I was 13 years old. And if anyone has any knowledge on the subject and can even begin to explain what happened to me, I would greatly appreciate it. So, when I was much younger, a lot of the time on the weekends, I would be home alone. My younger sibling would usually be staying the night with one of his friends or one of our cousins. And my mother and father, they would usually be partying next door with the neighbors. They were very social. So one weekend in particular, I was playing some Sega Genesis, and I decided, you know what, I'm finna get in the shower. So while I'm in the shower, everything seems to be going pretty smoothly, when all of a sudden, the shower curtain just jerks back. And I'm standing face to face with a strange man that I don't know. I don't know him at all. Involuntarily, my body kind of jerks in the direction of what's going on, and I slip and I fall. When I slipped and I fell, the back of my head hit the back of the tub, and I winced because it hurt pretty bad. After I recovered from wincing, I looked toward the man to see if he was still there, and he was gone. Not a trace of him in sight. So I sat there for a couple of seconds, kind of froze, and I jumped up out of the tub and I ran toward the bathroom door and I locked it. My heart's pounding, I'm breathing hard, I'm scared, I'm shaking, and I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do next, because the bathroom door is pretty flimsy. It's not as if it's like a front door or a back door. It can be easily kicked in. I mean, it's just not a lot between me and him, I'm thinking at the time. So I figured that I had to figure something out. I couldn't just stay in the bathroom because in my mind, it would be easy for him to get me. I don't know if like I said, I don't know if he's there to rob the place or kill me or what. So I get dressed, and I decide that the best course of action would be for me to make a beeline straight for the front door, which is about roughly 20 feet away from the bathroom. I figured that I could make it. I mean, I was a pretty swift child. I played sports and things. I figured, I was confident that I can make it. So now I'm going to do this, and I make a beeline toward the door, which was kind of risky because we didn't keep a lot of lights on in the house, only the lights that we needed, and the light over the top of the stove. So it was kind of dim, but it was dark in the house. Anyway, so I make the beeline toward the door, and I get to the door, and I'm out. Run across the street to the neighbor's house, and I begin to, I run straight through the door. I don't knock on it. I just go straight through the door, and I run to my mom. I'm bent over. I'm breathing hard. She's trying to figure out what's happening to me. So after I catch my breath, I explain to her what happened, and she jumps up. She runs to where my father's at, and she tells him what happens, and the neighbor grabs his gun, and they start walking toward the house. So my mom's screaming, "Do you want me to call the police?" And he's like, "No, just let me go check this out. I can handle this." Yada yada yada. So about 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later, they come back and they say that there's no one in the house and they can see basically they're saying that they can see no evidence of a break-in. And everything seems exactly as it should be in the house. We go home that night, and we all huddle up in the same room, in their room, and we sleep. And the last thing I remember is my dad kind of sitting up in the chair in the room and just kind of keeping watch. Nothing happens after that. I mean, everything just goes back to being normal. Like, I'm weirded out, but nothing happens. Just life just kind of goes on. A couple years later, I joined the Navy, and I do a bit of traveling and this, that, and the third, and I get out. So now I'm around the age of 22, and I come back home. Well, I had moved roughly about an hour and a half away from where my parents lived at, but I wanted to come home for the 4th of July to visit them. Usually on the 4th of July, if I'm there, we'll all go down to the bay and watch the fireworks because the bay is about 3 blocks away from where my parents' house at. So we just kind of walk there all together and we watch the fireworks. But that day, when I woke up that morning, I just didn't feel well. It's like I couldn't get my bearings. I was nauseous. I had a bad headache, a terrible headache, and I just didn't feel well. So it became time. It was right before dusk. It became time for us to get ready to walk down to the bay, and my mom asked me if I was gonna go, and I told her no. I just don't feel well. I'm not gonna be able to make it. I apologize because I know she really wanted me to be there. She told me not to worry about it. They were gonna go anyways, and they would be back shortly. So I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine. So I was, thinking, take some Tylenol, maybe watch some TV, whatever. So then I was like, well, you know what? I'm just going to get in the shower because maybe if I take me a hot shower, I'll feel better. Walk into the bathroom, put everything down, and I pull back the curtain, the shower curtain. And this is when things get really weird. When I pull back the shower curtain, I see myself in the shower. I see my younger self standing in the shower, and we're looking at each other face to face. And I'm shocked, and I know what's happening. Like, I immediately remember it from the other side. So I know what's happening, but I'm scared anyways because my mind cannot make sense of what's happening. It's like my mind cannot process it properly. So I see myself, my younger self, fall in the tub and hit his head, and I hit my head. I don't even know how to word it right. But anyways, I start backing up because at this point I'm just trying to get away. I can't, I'm scared, I don't know what's happening, I'm trying to get away from what's happening. So as I'm backing away, I trip and fall. I roll over and I crawl toward the bathroom door. I open it up and I crawl out the bathroom and shut it behind me. I'm sitting there on my hands and knees, breathing hard, trying to figure out what just happened. What is this? Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. I get up, I kind of walk around, I pace for a couple of minutes, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back in the bathroom. So what I do is like a coward, what I do is I open the bathroom door, but I open it slowly, and I'm standing behind the wall, and I kind of peek my head around the corner to see what's going on in there. Like, what? I don't know what I'm going to see. I don't know if I'm going to see a ghost or an alien. I don't know what I'm going to see at this point. This is crazy. So I open the door, I peek my head around the corner, and nothing's in the shower. So I walk in the bathroom, and I walk toward the shower, and I want to examine the shower to see what's going on. And the shower is dry, as if no one was ever in there. And I distinctly remember seeing my younger self in the shower, and the water's running, of course, right? And I also remember that when I was standing face to face with myself, that there was no sound. Even though the water was running, and I see it running, and I see the water hitting myself, I can hear nothing. It's as silent as if nothing's happening. I sit there for a couple of seconds, and then I walk back out into the living room. I sit there and I wait for my parents to come home. And I explain to them everything that happened, and they're just kind of vexed, and they don't understand what's happening. They can't really, but they remember. But I'm explaining to them. I'm like, you remember when, way back when I saw the man in the shower, Mom? It wasn't the man. It was me. It was me. It just happened, and I think I just seen it from the other side. I think I ran into myself. So of course she's kind of laughing, and she's asking me stuff like, "What are you smoking, son?" and all that stuff. But my father, he's like, "Well, maybe you got caught in a time loop." And I'm like, "Well, I don't even know what that means, Pops." Well, anyways, that's the event. That's what happened to me, and like I said, I can't explain it, or I've never heard anything quite like it before. So it's kind of crazy, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Take care.